you so much. Good morning, everyone, again. We have been recently talking about next generation EU funds, and this panel is going to be really interesting because now we are going to know about the new initiatives in Spain. So for this matter, we have here today Koldo Achutegi, and I invite him to join me, please, here at the stage. That is the Attraction Director from Diputación Foral de Vizcaya, a regional government with many initiatives linked again, to digitalization, internationalization, entrepreneurs, and sustainability that we will know. And today we have also here Alberto Sanz from IFEX, again, this agency in charge of promoting the internationalization of Spanish companies and also the attraction of international investors.
Hello.
So welcome, and thank you for joining me in this conversation. I would like to start with Koldo, for example, because there is a new initiative in Vizcaya that is called Biscay Startup Bay, and is linked to international entrepreneurship. It's a center for international entrepreneurship, and inside this initiative, there is also Vizcaya Tower and Nagusi Intelligence Center. So I would like to know a little bit about those initiatives and how are you facing all the challenges?
Okay, firstly, good morning. Thanks, Mercedes. And as you say, we are trying to develop in Biscay the strategy which we call Biscay Startup Bay. So we call it Biscay Bay because, as you know, we are just between France and Spain in the north, so this is a bay. So the idea is to create there one of the most connected entrepreneurship center or hub in the world. Why in the world? Not because I am from Bilbao. The world because we have to be connected. So we were doing a benchmarking during more than 1 year, so it was very exciting because we were visiting different places around the world, the most important entrepreneurship hubs in the world. For example, we were in Helsinki, we were in Boston, we were in Tel Aviv, we were in Singapore, so it was like, and thanks to this benchmarking process, we were able to discover why we could create this entrepreneur center. And the lesson is that we have to create this entrepreneur center based on your strengths. So our strengths are corporates. I was talking with him previously that, remember that we have corporate in the Basque Country, in the Basque region. So the idea is to create an entrepreneurship center in Bilbao, in the BBO Tower. And we have hired more than 9,000 square meters to create a center there where, as other centers, VCs, corporates, and startups will be there. Thanks to the corporates and thanks to our taxation and the different programs which we have. So that is the idea or the dream. So, and it's more than a dream because we are going to start in September of the next year.
It's really interesting. There is much more than Madrid and Barcelona. There are many other cities in Spain that nowadays they are trying to become a really entrepreneurs hubs. And I think that Bilbao is an amazing place with big corporates, with big industry, with agriculture also, with tourism, because the landscape is amazing. My husband is from Bilbao, so I have to say those kind of things.
Contaminated, so.
But now, moving to Alberto, I would like to know, because we are in this recovery mode and we feel quite optimistic. This event, for example, is here and we can be together. That is really nice. And I would like to know, because IFEX have a good view of what is happening, which sectors do you consider that may leadership this recovery?
Well, thank you very much, Mercedes, and nice to say hello to Koldo and to all the audience, and thank you for the invitation. I believe innovation is happening all across the economy, all across the sectors. It's amazing what is happening. Actually, if we take a look back 10 years ago, we couldn't have imagined that so much innovation was going on. And it's taking place everywhere, in every sector, in every technological vertical. Now, if I had to point some things that I see, okay, I would say there is a lot of interest in fintech, food tech, travel tech. It's amazing what is happening in the video game industry. All the audiovisual hub, altogether. So, but I wouldn't like to limit myself to those. I mean, it's taking place all around the sector. So now it's true now that with the recovery plan, we have a great opportunity trying to match this innovation wave to the funds that are coming from the European Union. As you know, at least over one-fourth of the resources must be devoted to the digitalization. That's a great opportunity when we talk about such huge amounts of funds that are coming. So I wouldn't be able to pick just one, but it's actually a horizontal thing. And innovation, the most interesting thing, I believe, is linking blockchain with the artificial intelligence, with big data. When you cross all these technologies and you apply them to a specific need you have in your economy, then you have innovation taking place everywhere.
Yes, yes. Digitalization is not only those sectors that we like to mention, like blockchains or artificial intelligence, that sounds so fashion. But it's all across all the economy that you can digitalize all the traditional sectors also. So I find very interesting what you mentioned. And also, I would like now move to Coldo again and to sustainability, because being Bilbao the headquarters of Iberdrola, that is one of the big energy corporates in Spain, I would like to know that, or I know that you have put in place the Energy Intelligence Center and Smart Network Center, and I would like to know about those initiatives, how they are working. And
Okay, yes, as you have mentioned, I think that, at least in the Basque Country, and I think that because Alberto as well, we are always thinking about the alliance, this public and private alliance, no? Because I think that the public sector has to design the framework, and later we have to work with the corporates. And these two initiatives, in Biscay, we have two big corporates. One of them is Iberdrola, as you know, it's a third utility in the world, and the second one is Petronor, which belongs to Repsol. And thanks to these two corporates, we decided, again, as your husband is from Bilbao, you are going to understand me now. We would like to lead the energy transition. Why? Because we have this oil and gas company, and we have the smart grid. So in the case of AIC, or EIC, as you say, our idea is to create in Biscay the Basque hydrogen corridor, because in Biscay we have all of the strengths to develop it, because we have the port, we have the refinery, we have the industry or the companies which have to decarbonize. So the idea is to develop all of the value chains in the hydrogen corridor. So it means that we have created this center to have in the same place all the companies which are focused on hydrogen. And it's not only from the perspective of local. The idea is to be a global intelligence center. And the other part of this energy transition, one of them is EIC, the other one is this global smart grid center, which we inaugurated, we opened with the president of Iberdrola and the governor of Biscay 2 days ago, is to have in Bilbao, thanks to Iberdrola and thanks to our taxation to promote the R&D, to have in Iberdrola the global smart grid center from the company to the world, working again working with corporates, working with the Iberdrola supplier, and working with startups. But again, as you have said, Alberto, from the global, because it's happening around the world, so we have to be open to everyone.
It's really interesting to know that those big corporate, very well known, like Iberdrola or Repsol, are really involved and are moving in the sustainable wave that we are living, and they will have a lot of things to say in this regard. And now, Alberto, again, I would like to know, because international investors have always been very prone to Spanish assets, and from the public debt to, for example, if you look at private equity and venture capital, 75% of investors are international. So I would like to know if this trend is going to continue, how the international investors are looking at Spain, at our assets, at our recovery, and what's the mood?
Let me just add a little bit on what Koldo was saying on
Yes,
sustainability
perfect.
and big corporates. It's a big opportunity to profit from these recovery funds also for sustainability purposes. It's 30, I don't remember exactly, it's like 36% of total funds will be fully devoted to sustainability. Corporates, Spain has great corporates, big ones, internationalized, Latin America and so on. So it's a big opportunity for us to have startups all around the world working with these corporates like Iberdrola, you just mentioned some of them, so that these hubs they have, we can take profit out of them, right? Now, about financing, it's right, yes, 75% of financing needs for Spanish startups come from outside. Is this good? Is this bad? Well, it's actually the reality. Spanish funds are not that big. I mean, the biggest one might be, I don't know, now we saw some figures in the newspapers, 250 million, maybe the next big fund in Spain. Actually, you rarely see rounds over 10 million where there is not a foreign fund acting. Even below that level, using many foreign funds. Now, I believe the trend, there are two different trends. Big funds are looking both at early stage. They are creating very specific funds to be able to scrutinize all this innovation that is happening at the early stage. At the same time, they know that to be global players, they need to have size. So I would certainly count on some kind of integration of the system so that we may see Spanish funds going for larger rounds like 20, 25, 50 million rounds, even devoting a single fund over 20 million for a single startup. But this is taking place. I mean, if we compare what's happening now with what was 5 years ago, it's like day and night. So I think this is just a trend that is moving. And we will see certainly bigger rounds for where Spanish funds take part.
If you talk about becoming bigger, I can avoid explaining a little bit that we have launched a new initiative called Fonico Next Tech, trying to finance these scale-ups and trying to push those corporates to incorporate to this private equity and venture capital. In the middle of private venture capital and private equity is where scale-ups are, and we are trying to move. And I think that we will be able to gather bigger funds for scaling up our companies in the future. And Koldo, again, among all the measures accomplished by Vizcaya, there were several related to digitalization that may have a big impact on the region business activity. For example, the extension of wideband to all the many towns and villages, or an education center, the creation of e-commerce platform. How you face all digital challenge that we have?
Yeah, actually, as Alberto has said, I think that digitalization is an horizontal. So I think that now you cannot think about launching a company, about internationalizing a company as well, without digitalization. So I think that in that issue, I think that we need new skills. We have to train people. So this is the reason why we reached an agreement with Telefónica to develop in Bilbao, or in Urduliz, but Great Bilbao, the Ecole 42. Again, but we decided to reach this agreement or to align with Iberdrola to develop the School 42 because the company needed. Again, I think that we have to be more interested in knowing what the companies need, because in our case, for us it's very sensitive because, as you know, we collect taxes in Biscay. So if the company is doing well, it's going to good for us. So I think that we have to work very close to the companies to understand their needs, to understand their interest, because if the companies have a very good revenues, we collect taxes. So for us, it's very important.
Yes, it's always very interesting to see how the public administrations and all the public players are trying to really be together with the companies and have an answer for their needs and for their demands. And that's very interesting. And Alberto, that's a little bit, maybe it's not very in the focus, or maybe it's more popular, this question. It's about teleworking and how this new trend that we have, if you consider that Spain may be a destination for these digital immigrants that are deciding now where to work and where to live.
Exactly. Spain's a great place for digital nomads. We don't have figures. I was trying to find some official figures anywhere in the world. There are no official figures in no place in the world. There are only some digital platforms where normally digital nomads and teleworkers work with. So we know from those platforms, Spain ranks quite well. We see Barcelona always plays in the first 5 places to telework. We see also Valencia. We have seen a lot of activity, not on those charts, but a lot of questions and consultations with Malaga, Canary Islands is very active working on this. I mean, all the Mediterranean coast and many of the...
No, we have to improve our weather. Yeah, I know. I understand.
No, but
you can compete on this.
No, I can compete with the weather.
I think this is very important. I mean, a startup must be sustainable, must be
digital?
Of course, digital, and must be global. Global from all kinds of, for all kinds of purposes. I mean, global from its management, its team, it's the people they're working, and their markets. And you need teleworkers. You need teleworkers, at least at a certain stage of your startup. So I think we will see, I know, the new legislation that is now going to be approved or is under scrutiny right now has a specific mention to facilitation of telework. This is great. I hope this provides a new opportunity for easier access to teleworkers all around the world. Spain is a beautiful place and great place to telework, and hopefully we will see this trend. We need to be open to that because this is already taking place.
Yes, so it has been really interesting to know about all the initiatives that Spain has a global ambition in the startups, in also the initiatives launched by the public administration in this public-private partnership that is so important to develop. And I don't know if Koldo, do you want to add anything?
As we cannot compete with the weather in terms of the nomad digital, so we have passed a new taxation law for impacts, because as you have said, now you can work for everywhere. So you have to create all of the conditions to be very comfortable in different places. So as we don't have sun, at least we are going to give some deduction in the personal tax to people to come to Bilbao to work. Thinking, as you say, now you can work everywhere.
Yeah. Yes, so we have a lot of good destinations for working here in Spain. Thank you so much for the participants and also South Summit for inviting us today to explain the Spain landscape, what is happening, and how we are going to face the future, the challenging future, that it will bring a lot of opportunities for everyone. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.